The market has a way of exposing everyone. No matter how confident you are, how much you think you know, it will test you. And most don't last long enough to understand it. Because real trading isn't noise, it's not hype, it's years of discipline, of mistakes, of learning when to act and when to stay out. Today we sit down with a trader who's lived through that process. Over a decade in the markets, navigating different cycles, refining not just strategy but mindset. From the early stages, like most traders, to operating at a level where consistency isn't luck, it's standard. This is someone who understands what it takes, not just to survive the markets, but to stay in them. In this conversation, we go beyond entries and exits. We talk about discipline, we talk about growth, we talk about what it really takes to become consistent in an industry where most people fall off. No shortcuts, no illusions, just perspective from someone who's been in the game long enough to know the difference. So wherever you are in your journey, pay your attention, because sometimes the biggest shift comes from hearing the truth the right way.
Hello traders, we are opening slots for mechanical trading mentorship designed to take you from emotional, inconsistent trading to a structured rule-based system. No more revenge trading, just a clear system you can trust. Now inside this mentorship, you are going to learn 1. A complete mechanical strategy. 2. How to backtest and build confidence. 3. Risk management that protects your capital. 4. How to execute like a professional trader. The mentorships cost only 30,000 Kenya shillings and you're only taking 20 students per month. All classes are online with a bonus of a physical class every Thursday, giving you the opportunity to trade with us at Westlands, Nairobi during our coffee and trades sessions. April intake is now open. If you are serious about changing your trading journey, or send us a direct message using the number pinned in the description to get started.
Hello traders and welcome back to Traders KE. This is season 2, episode 10, and of course this is going to be the last episode for this quarter, and then we will see each other on the coming quarter. Anyway, I hope you guys have been great. Everything has been great. If you have been monitoring the situation, you know how crazy it has been, the situation, the conflict escalating in Middle East, the USA-Israel thing and all that. And this week, more so yesterday, we are shooting this on a Tuesday. And yesterday, we had some crazy spikes in the market. And it was only from a tweet of Trump saying he won't be attacking Iran again. And you saw what that did to the market. And this week, you will be forced to learn more on economics, just like you have been forced to learn on geopolitics in the recent past. But anyway, I don't want to keep you here. Today, we are very humbled to have a well-seasoned guest, a trader who has been there in the market, for the longest time possible, a person that we look them as a mentor. And, it's all good, and I'm so happy to be here in this episode today. And before we get to the guest, let me welcome my other host, Nick, with his famous jacket, as always. Yeah, Nick, say hi.
Hello guys. For our new subscribers, people who are watching us for the first time, feel very much welcome. If you're coming again, if you're a loyal fan of this page, please, we really appreciate you. Na karibuni sana to yet another episode. I'm very much excited today because we are hosting not just a common trader, a trader who has been in the game for a very long time, and a trader who has been a mentor to me. I have been into his classes, I have been into his community, and a trader whose story is going to resonate with most of the young people in our country. So we are joined by one who is Ken from Financial Hub Academy. So Ken, karibu sana.
Santi.
And we are really, really happy to see you. We've been looking forward to this episode. Tumekuwa tukimtafuta sana. Yes. He's a great mentor to me and many others. The last time we met, he called us, tukakula nyama sana mahali pale Sankara. We are very happy. It was the first time I'm actually going to a very, very fancy hotel with my boys.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate that. And let's get into Ken's story.
Yeah.
Ken started trading from a bedsitter.
Yeah.
if I'm not
I
wrong.
remember we
Yeah.
once did a space with him and they told a very inspiring story.
Yeah.
So can give us an introduction of how you started trading and especially your early days of trading.
Okay. So first off, thanks a lot for having me and for the kind words. Just like you guys, I'm a young man trying to build something. I'm on a mission to build something, and the stock market happens to be the avenue that I'm using. So if I take you back to when I started trading, so I started trading back in 2016, December. So I cleared my high school in 2014. In 2015, there was that long break back then. It wasn't like directly going to campus. So I had to wait all the way to September. In September, I joined uni, went in there, was called to do mechanical engineering. Didn't really enjoy it. I think it took me about 3 or 4 weeks to decide this is not what I wanted to do. I think I had a very wrong impression of what engineering was. And so I decided back then that I needed to change. But that time I decided I will change from mechanical engineering to electrical engineering. And the school that I was in at that time did not allow me to do that change. So they were like, the electrical class is full, so you can't really switch up from this course to this other one. So I decided to drop out. And I dropped out with an intention of now joining the following year to do electrical engineering, which I successfully did. I joined KU again to do electrical engineering. And again, I went there and I realized, it's not what I still want.
Yeah.
Okay, so all along I thought engineering was this profession where people would be, nerdy, geekish, you're solving problems, you're coding, doing such things. I went in and it was just, you were being taught as usual and all that. So I didn't really like it. And I decided, chatuni toke. But during that time, now I met someone, a friend of mine who was doing actuarial science. And as he was doing actuarial science, he had gotten introduced to the concept of markets. And so during that time, he told me, so I told him, I'm in campus, but I still don't think we should be wasting time in campus. I think we should spend some time, doing other things because we have a lot of time in our hands. So we can try to do other things. And I told him, if you have anything, any project that you think we can work on, so you'll reach out to me. He was at third year, but then I was in first year. And so immediately, the next day he came to my house with a book. And he told me, you said you want something to do. I have this book. It's called Mastering the Currency Market. It's about making money in the currency markets. And if you're interested, read it. I can show you examples of a few people who have done it. We saw those guys from SA, those rich guys. We're like, we're home. Why should we even be doing any other thing other than?
We are not here to suffer.
Yeah. So that is when immediately we decided to join that side. I started it lightly, though I never thought even I'd drop out to do such a thing or everything that I did afterwards. So I started out lightly. I was just intentional about what I was learning. The following year in 2017, March, we had a lecturer strike between January and March of 2017. And so when it came to March, they were telling us to go back to school. But we were so deep into this other subject that we didn't want to go back to school. So I went in, decided to speak to my parents. I told them, let me just call out for a minute. I specialize in this other thing. Once I'm at a position where I'm making money, I can go back and clear with
What did they say?
engineering. Obviously, it's not well received. It's like, what is this you're doing? Probably you're just calling. You've already called out some other place. Now you've taken you to this other place. You're calling out. So obviously, your parents are not for it. My father even invited a couple of my uncles
To talk to you.
Yes, I would meet them at
And
home.
pray for you too.
You guys are here. Oh, I thought you were random visitors. But then I'm told, you need to sit here. There's a conversation you need to have. But I was very, very, candid. I'm looking for the right word. Yeah, I had made my resolve that that's what I wanted to do at that time. And to some point, I was hard-headed. That's the right word. Kichwa tu ngumu. Nikasema, change my mind. So yeah, I stuck to my thing. My parents decided to cut some funding and all that. I survived in my cabed sitter, started trading there,
Yeah.
learned a lot about trading, developed reading habits there. Like I just figured out what I really wanted to do with my life, I think, during that period, especially on the career side. And after like 2, 3, 4 years, people started approaching us, hey, you guys are serious, you look like you're doing something solid. Would you kindly teach us? We started a YouTube channel, we started sharing content. More people said, okay, we've seen the content, but we are interested also in, learning and all that.
Sure.
So we formed a course, we started teaching. After some time, people were like, we're meeting you guys, but we'd like to come to a physical place. So we opened an office in town, ran the office for a year, expanded, and then expanded again to Lavington, started a podcast. Just all that you guys are doing, I've done it in a different light.
Yeah.
But that's in a nutshell how I started. And now getting all the way to closing down the school. So we closed down Financial Hub Academy. So we don't teach anymore. And during that whole process, for me, as I started out trading, my goal was to just learn how to trade, make money, and just develop my own independence. But I didn't know it was going to be such a long journey, honestly. I thought like after 2, 3, 4 years, I'll be making my money and everything will be. But boy, it was such a journey, discovering what hedge funds are doing, it opened up a whole new avenue. And so once that happened, obviously, as you get more information, some point like 2 years ago, I had decided that now it's time for me to pivot from what I'm doing, which is teaching and the retail. And I wanted to go into institutional trading. So I had made that decision and I just now was working around how to do it.
Yeah.
And now I can at least say, luckily, that I've been on the institutional side now for 2 months. So that's not a random decision. It was well thought out. The plan was there. And that's why it was so easy for us to let go.
Yeah.
Because we had already, if I come and tell you guys to let go of what you're doing right now and you've not thought about it for a while, it might be a little bit difficult.
It will be hard,
or
But after
inconvincing.
6 months, a year where you've decided that probably I should leave this side, it becomes very easy.
I know probably people are wondering why you are mentioning about stocks, and we know you from Forex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I talk about the stock market generally, I always refer to all asset classes within it. Whether you're doing bonds, whether you're doing currencies, whether you're doing commodities, whether you're doing indices, whether you're doing futures, all that will fall under the stock market. Okay. And once you're in it, even if you're doing FX and currencies, I'm sure you'll definitely know what stocks are doing, what bonds are doing, what these other markets are doing. So you'll find that by the end of the day, like right now where I am, I've specialized in equities, but I still know what bonds are doing. I know where different bonds are selling at. I know why they're selling there. I know how the offers are coming.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of, once you're just in the market, all avenues will be open to you.
Yeah, true. I kind of do agree on that because I'm a Forex trader, but oftenly I don't know why I find myself looking at defense stocks in the US.
Exactly. So you'll find, because Trump has said something, you want to see what defense stocks are doing, right? Yeah. So you'll find that you're somehow all-rounded in all these things, but you've specialized.
Yeah. Oh, amazing journey. Your journey is something that many people are going to resonate with because we have so many guys trying to start out, especially guys in the universities and colleges, and most of them are wondering if maybe it will never work out. And the fact that also guys from universities and colleges, we do have a lot of time because we are also there. And instead of using that time to, there is a proverb that says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
So the moment you're just idle, you're in campus, you have nothing to do, you will end up taking drugs,
and many other things.
That are not beneficial to you. Yeah, but that's amazing. So wase wako huko bana, do something. You can see where Ken is. The journey has just started. The story has just started.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will take no shame in admitting that these guys, we never met physically. I know you interacted in one occasion or
yes.
maybe another one, but you guys were my mentors. I remember when I was coming up, I was trying to look for someone who are doing something that I can resonate with. No hype, no nothing, just pure markets.
Yeah.
And you guys inspired us, especially me. I was the whole time I was hoping, you can even ask Nick. I was telling them, you need to go to Financial Hub right now, and then we go talk with Ken and Caleb, and even if it's for a day, we just say hi and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe those guys will tell us something that will elevate us.
Yeah.
Like you guys, I personally like giving flowers when I don't have to wait for someone to die so that I can give him flowers.
Yeah.
So man, have your flowers, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank
for the course of that time you were doing the podcast and everything. You just did a marvelous job that was so wonderful, and it changed lives. I am here because of ICT and Financial Hub. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I
Ken-
normally meet people like that, by the way. Like there was even a guy I met who came in when we were opening our office. So he was just carried by somewhere for the launch. And he came in and he discovered there's a whole new world called this. That guy now works at HFM.
Oh.
So
Wow.
thanks a lot for the flowers.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing what we can
Yes.
to help. Also for us, there's someone else helping us. Yeah.
Sasa Ken, you have mentored so many guys, especially now that you are running an academy, the Financial Hub. And I am very positive within that period of you interacting with traders. You saw people who were successful, you mentored traders who were successful, and others probably failed.
Yeah.
What do you think made this gap between the successful traders and those guys who failed?
So first off, I'd say that majority of the people we mentored and talked to will eventually leave trading. So I'll be very honest. Yeah. So because what we realized during that time that we were doing it was the problem with most people is how they approach trading. And they approach trading from the idea that, this is something that can make me money. They don't look at it as a job or as a business. They look at it as a game to make money.
Yeah.
And if someone is opening a shop, it's very different from someone telling you I'm starting to trade.
Yeah.
If you tell someone today I want to learn how to trade, they wouldn't think the same way if you told them I'm thinking of opening a supermarket. Why? Because of the mindset that's been created out there about trading, such that it doesn't even look like a business. It looks like more of a game. People, toying and trying to make money. You get?
Yeah.
So majority of the people will eventually drop out. But there are a few guys who I noticed would, one, make some money from props. Two, were able to convert this into something that they could do consistently as much as they had other pockets of things that they were doing. I remember there was even recently a guy who called me from Coast, and he was telling me of how, last year he had a very good year in props. He made a lot of money to the point of even buying a plot. But right now he's really struggling to make any money. It's tough for him. He's wondering, so he was calling me with the idea that probably could help him, So you can see that's someone who's very different from someone who I probably sat with in class, and I never got to see a single trade that they executed. Because there are people like that.
Yeah.
When you teach people, you'll realize that person was just there out of curiosity. What's this about? And once they realize this is something that will probably take more than they thought initially, they're not willing to commit to it.
Yeah.
So they will drop off. So I would say the tiny percentage of the guys who will consistently get at it or keep coming back to it were number one guys who are not in a hurry to make money. So guys who you realize later that, hey, this person has actually converted this into something that they can do consistently. So you'd find that they came in with the idea that, yes, I want to make money, but they were very keen to realize, as you were teaching them, that that's not how money is made. And they would convert now from just doing that to doing something that was a little bit more solid. Like I remember there were like 3, 4, 5 Muslims specifically who really did something amazing with their trading. Although there are also the ups and downs. You know, he's blown an account somewhere, he's lost a challenge somewhere. But that guy will also text you and call you and tell you, I've made a payout. Or I want to buy you lunch. Why? You know, I've just made some money from props and I want to give it back to you. So there was that. So there was that element of one, converting it from just something that you're in a hurry to make money to like, I want to do this, I want to understand it, and I will take my time to do that. That's one. The second gap that I think I observed is that most of the people who came in with the idea of trying to make quick money were willing to do things that the guys who were not in a rush to make money were not willing to do. For example, you'd find someone has come in, they've attended all your classes, you tell them signals don't work, but you still find that guy in a signal group taking signals.
Yes.
And he'll even come to you and tell you, no, I took signals from this place and I lost money. And you'd wonder, you're doing the opposite of what you were told.
Yes.
And so when I thought about it later, I realized it's because this person was looking at only one thing, making money. So they were not interested in understanding how markets work. They were interested in just making money. You get?
Yeah.
And then what else can I say that I observed was a gap between those guys? What else? I'm trying to think of the classes and the numbers of people that we handled and the different things that people will do. Yeah, I feel like those are the general things. Because I realized that for the guys who completely will stick to it and will somehow make money, they were able to convert this from just a game to something like they were passionate about.
Yeah.
This guy could do more research. You know, once you're passionate about markets, you'll find that this guy is more informed. He'll even tell you, Ken, have you seen this new prop farm? This new prop farm has these new rules. Or what do you think about these new rules? That's very different from someone who you taught and they only know FTMO.
Yeah.
That's someone who only listened to you na kwenda fanye any background work or anything else. You get?
Yeah.
But for the people who you'd find that someone comes in now with more information and all that.
Yeah.
Ken, how just maybe to add on to Nick's question, how important is mentorship in trading, and how exactly can someone know that they are being mentored by the right person?
And especially considering that you yourself, I know you're a self-taught trader.
Yeah.
And you have gone through your journey and your struggles during your early stages of trading. Maybe, do you think if you go back then, would you maybe opt for a mentorship from somebody, or would you just go again just on your own?
No, I'd still opt for mentorship. I in fact, going on my own was one of the, like right now, if someone honestly spends time with me, don't you think I have a nugget or two? Just not so many, but
Yes.
there's a nugget or two that I can share with this person, and I can save this person a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy. You know, I can tell you easily, this thing does not work, or this thing does not move like this or like that, or if you move that direction, it's not really the best. So mentorship really, really works and is important. Now, how can you know you're being mentored by the right guys? This is what you guys were saying. One, you can pick someone who's bluffing, especially about trading, and someone who's speaking something that's legit. You know, you don't need to do a lot of research. It's effortless. You know, like you listen to someone 2 times, 3 times, you can just tell this person does not make their bread and butter from this thing to this other side. So I'd look at how authentic a person is. That's number one. I'd look at how they trade also and their experience in the market, because yes, you are a newbie, but if I meet you guys, I can scroll through your videos and I can tell Nick trades like this, Slim trades like this, and I can be able to come up with like, okay, would I want to learn what this guy does? Would I want to go deeper into what this person does, or I would just want to do my own things? So you can look at the authenticity of the person. You can look at the style that the person is using. You can look at the results, because also results matter. Is this person posting payouts? And are those payouts legit? Is this person consistent in how they look at markets? Because you'll find today, let's say you come to me, and today you find that I'm trading technicals. Tomorrow I'm trading fundamentals. The next day I tell you about. You can just tell this person is not so consistent.
Consistent, yes.
It's not wrong to change your mind on something, but you should have a candid reason why you're changing your mind, and you should also explain to people that I'm moving from this to this other side because of A, B, C, D. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense? It's upon the person. But by the end of the day, I can still come back and say, yes, you can have all that. You can have the best mentors. You can have someone guiding you on what you really need to do. But what really matters in trading, and that's what I've realized, is if you have the right mindset to yourself. And not mindset in terms of trading psychology, no. Mindset in terms of what trading is all about. Because I've realized after you've done for someone all that, they'll still take 2 or 3 trades in line with your strategy. And if the 4th trade is not giving them money, they'll start doing their own things in an effort to make money back. That's not something that you can blame the mentor on or say that this guy didn't have the right knowledge. It all boils down back again to that execution. And besides execution, I can also say that for me, I'd say that long term, you can't do trading if you don't have a lot of resilience. You just can't. You'll be knocked down so many times that if you're not the person who says, let me wake up and continue, you can't. You'll give up. You will find that you are not able to just continue at it.
And especially during the early days,
Especially during the early days. Exactly.
Because
Because
yes,
even you can't explain why you have these losses.
Yes.
You just find
A lot of blown accounts.
exactly.
And also now the fact that people don't say what happens to the 90% that we say are not profitable. Yeah, I guess it's a good thing you mentioned that, because I guess out of the 90, so many quit.
Yeah.
Watu wengi sana.
Yeah. Majority quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Majority quit.
And maybe not so good to say, but many ladies tend to quit more than men.
Yeah.
Because I have run communities,
Yeah.
I have seen somebody will come and pay you, you teach them for a month, and then the second month they say, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah. And you know that's a valid person, because someone who realizes very early that this is not my thing and I can't do it is better off than someone who keeps at it, but in the wrong way. You have already made the resolve that, I can't commit to this, but maybe I can use signals, maybe I can copy someone. And you're just implementing strategies that don't work in the market.
So along that line, do you think trading is for everyone?
No. No.
He's so frank about it.
It isn't.
Yeah,
No.
but that's true.
No, it's actually for a tiny percentage of people.
And why is that? Tell us your reasoning behind that. Because I personally thought anybody can do it.
No way. Trading is one of those hard puzzles. It's even now, I'm still discovering and, coming across new information that makes me become so humble to the point where I thought markets work like this, but they don't. Like, I can tell you a perfect sample. Are you aware that a fund manager of a pension fund, let's say, allocates capital very differently from how you do it, and they have stipulated guidelines on how they should allocate capital? Probably not.
Nope.
And because of all that, there is a certain way that markets will behave because these guys are doing something. Like, let's say we're going towards the end of the quarter. All fund managers are expected to report their positions and what they hold. So you might find that towards the end of the quarter, some volatility comes into the market because of rebalancing of portfolios and all that. That's something that you're on the retail side, you never know.
Okay, I am also knowing that today.
Yeah, you realize, yeah? So
That's new.
that's new. Like, so markets are, and that's just one. Now you can imagine of how many other things exist like that.
And now with all this kind of information, I still wonder how retailers we can be successful. Yes, we are successful, but with all such things towards the end of the quarter, you have seen that.
I can tell you
the
for free
markets.
that the retailer is hugely disadvantaged in the financial markets. If you can succeed in retail, you can succeed 30 or 40 more times in the institutional side. from every advantage, informational advantage, capital advantage. It's just two worlds apart.
Maybe,
Two worlds apart.
sorry for interrupting. I just wanted you to clarify now that you have been into like the both parts, the retail side and now you're on the institutional side. Would you mind defining what the retail trader?
Would I mind? I've not gotten the question.
Would you mind like describing what a retail trader is?
So a retail trader is essentially someone who's trading their own capital. That's what I define as a retailer. You're an individual, you're managing your own money, and you're trading at the comfort of your office, at the comfort of your bedroom, at the comfort of an institution. On the other side is a fund, a company that has been designed to trade for people or to manage money publicly. You get?
Yeah.
So these are two different entities. You get? So how an institution will manage money and how they'll do their things is very different from how a retailer will do it. And for me, in my experience, having been in both sides, I don't really think. Some people argue, I've heard like one or two traders arguing that, retailing is better because, you can probably play with risk, you can do other things. But for me, I'd tell you, retailing is only better for the guy who's understood institutional side. You see, now if I get out and I come the retail side, it's
Not
like
so much
I already have the mind of an institution at the retail level. So am I really a retailer?
No.
You're not a normal retailer like
I'm not a
us.
normal retailer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the guys you meet on YouTube, this guy tells you I'm an ex-Goldman Sachs trader. I'm an ex-JP Morgan trader. I'm an ex-prop trader. Always realize this person has way more advantage than you. Because they have a lens or a filter of viewing markets that you don't have.
This is interesting. And especially when it comes to capital. How do the institutions allocate? For us, if you have $100, we risk 50.
And you go full money.
If I have 10,000, I'll personally risk even as much as 500.
Yeah.
Because it's my own money.
Yeah.
How do the institutions play along with their capital? And
So,
maybe
remember also under institutions, you have different institutions. So we have asset managers, we have hedge funds, we have pension funds, we have investment banks. All those people will do different things. Like, for example, remember a pension fund. What's the sole purpose of a pension fund? It's to pay pensions. It's not to make money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's to pay pensions. But for a hedge fund is to make money for high net worth individuals. You see, that's the fundamental problem we have even for our local markets, yeah? Whereby majority of the retailers or the people who are interested in markets don't even realize that those markets have different things that they are doing. So you see how a pension fund will trade and allocate capital is very different from how a hedge fund will do it and how an investment bank will do it and how a prop book will do it. But they are all institutions. You get?
Yeah.
But you'll find like a pension fund is more heavily weighted trading bonds, unlike a hedge fund, which might be even focused on specifically trading just equities.
Yeah.
You get? Like the dynamics are very different.
Yeah.
So one side functions very different from another one. And what these guys, even the banks that do treasury, the banks have a department called treasury where they trade currencies. Okay? But they trade them very differently from a retailer.
Yeah, there was once a post on X of a bank saying that people should apply for forex positions. I guess it was, I don't know, KCB or something. It was some time back.
Either KCB or equity.
Yeah.
You're
looking for treasury people, yeah?
Yeah.
So you'll find that how they do it is also quite different from how you do it. And the first reason why it's different is because the incentives are different, the goals are different.
And they don't use MetaTrader 5.
And they don't use MT5, yeah. So, and remember for us also, you have to be very keen to remember that you guys are not, or rather we. We also, there's that caveat, which now that I'll give you as an assignment. You just go and do it. Remember, us guys are not even trading the real currencies.
The retail side.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, you're trading CFDs.
Oh, yes, contracts for differences.
Yeah.
contracts for differences. So yours is a mimic of what the real currency does. Yours doesn't have a liquidity provider.
So probably also using B-books.
Exactly. So yours is mathematically, actually, it's very different from how these other guys are doing it.
Interesting. Maybe someone doesn't understand what a liquidity provider is. Of course, I know. Nick also knows. I remember last week you were seated with someone and he was talking to us about they have a brokerage and all that, blah, blah, blah. And they were talking about they are an e-book brokerage, and now they were talking to us about the liquidity providers and how they function. Would you mind maybe elaborating a bit for us?
About liquidity providers.
Yeah.
So on which side? On the FX side or
On the FX side.
On the
Most of
FX
our
side.
viewers are
Mostly
on the
our
FX.
audience is Forex. So
Okay, so first of all, you should know that what I'm describing does not at all affect CFDs. Okay? CFDs will not be affected by, they will be affected, but they are not affected. What I mean is they will be affected after already what was supposed to happen when there's a liquidity crunch happens. Okay? So let's take the Kenyan market, or let's take the US market. Let's say you want dollars.
yeah.
Okay. If you want dollars, who's the main sole provider of dollars?
Fed.
The Fed. Right?
The Fed, yes.
But you can't go to the Feds.
Yeah.
Do Feds have clients?
Nope.
They do have clients, but the clients are the banks. Right?
Yeah.
So you remember in 2008, the Feds gave JP Morgan around $10 billion.
Yeah.
Right? And why did they give them that cash? Because liquidity had dried up.
Yeah.
So a liquidity provider is someone who in the market, their mandate is managing to ensure that money does not dry up in a particular counter. Okay? So let's say in Kenya, for example, in 2022 when the shilling was going significantly
164.
weaker, 164.
Yeah.
What was the problem? We didn't have dollars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So liquidity had dried up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when liquidity dries up, even the few people who have it, they hide so that prices keep on moving higher. But what happened after we brought in the Eurobond? Liquidity came in. And when liquidity comes in, what has to adjust? Price. So a liquidity provider is essentially, and most times it's depending on now the different asset classes. It could be a central bank, it could be a brokerage firm, it could be an investment bank. Most times those three will do it. And they will now help you to know that this thing that you're trying, let's say if you come to the Kenyan market, there are some counters that you might be trying to partake in and they're not as liquid. Okay? But there are others that are very liquid. Like for example, Safaricom is very liquid. Every day Safaricom will trade north of 2-3 million shares. But there are certain counters that a day will trade only 300k shares. You get?
Yeah.
So you'll find that some markets have liquidity, others don't have liquidity. And the providers will be different depending on which markets you look at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Bana, today we are learning, man.
We thought we knew.
I don't think I've ever been attentive in a session like this. Back at some point, I want to do this.
We feel guilty.
But it's so interesting, learning new things in the market. And maybe let's go back to the other side. How you have interacted with so many traders over the course of your 10 years experience.
Yeah.
And I remember last time I did mention here, you guys even had a performance coach.
Yeah.
There was a lady you did one interview
She
with.
went to the US, yeah.
Man, the only performance coach in Kenya.
Yeah.
Please come back. And I did even make a challenge. I said these are opportunities in the financial whatever system that not so many people know about them. Like a performance coach is someone who does well,
Yeah.
and they keep the traders all intact. But I don't know all that. I'm talking from the perspective of Billions. I did watch when Wendy Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the role she was playing in the institution.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling us what those things essentially do to traders? How does it improve their environment, and essentially, does environment really matter for a trader?
Yeah. So, one, you have to realize that a human behaves in line with three things: genetics, habits, and the environment. Right?
Yeah,
One person can be smoking cigarettes here, they throw them away. You just tell that person you're entering Rwanda because the environment has changed. That same person will not throw away the cigarette as much as it's a habit they have. Why? Because the environment has.
change.
So it's the same with now bringing in a performance coach. One, she will help you with accountability. So, like right now, for me, I don't have a performance coach, right? I'm trading, let's say, props on my own. So I'm not answerable to anyone on which positions I took. Am I? No.
Yeah.
I'm not answerable to anyone whether I've done my reviews and everything. Am I? No. Do I have any daily deliverables that I have to attain?
No.
So if you have a performance coach and I just bring you those three things, I've already improved your trading. I make you accountable, I give you daily deliverables, and I make sure there's someone who's reviewing and counter-checking your work. You're doing the same thing, but you'll do it very, very differently. Right? And the reason for that is because you have someone who's counter-checking you. Someone who's telling you, we agreed that this is not the direction we're taking. So if we keep coming back to the same narrative, then the trading improvement won't generally come, will it? No. So those three reasons are why you got a performance coach. Like for us, she was very helpful for us with those three things. I remember, especially on the accountability, she would call me out. Like sometimes I'm sitting, I'm trading, and I remember those words. I'm like, this is what we discussed with Irene, and I'm still doing it.
Oh yeah, her name was Irene.
You get
Yeah.
like this is a conversation we've had, but I've still not been able to break that loop. There are others that I'm like, we had this discussion. Like, for example, Irene was the one who introduced us to the use of a checklist when you're trading.
Checklist.
Yeah. So instead of just coming in and entering into the market, she told us, why not develop a checklist that you can use and check first signal, second signal, third signal, fourth signal, then you can proceed and execute. And she told us the reason for that is because in your car, there's a bell that rings if you don't tie up your
Yes,
seatbelt.
the belt. Yeah.
Right? That's a psychological mechanism that's put there so that you always
Wear the seat
wear the
belt.
seatbelt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if the noise is not there and it doesn't disturb you, then you won't wear the
Seat belt.
So creating such mechanism for your trading, so those are things that now a psychologist can help you do. So that's just an example.
Nick is shocked.
It's a learning experience today.
I do hope when she comes back to the country, maybe we'll have a fair chance, sit down with her and talk.
Yeah, she's
because-
actually doing her master's in sports performance. So because of so she was a good friend of mine. I introduced her to the markets. She liked it. She liked that area of coaching. And she decided to just further her education, and probably our paths will connect to Kompele. You never know.
To the best of my knowledge, she's the only performance coach I know in Kenya.
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge. So
should
please,
look
if
for
there
her.
is anyone else, please forgive me.
Yeah.
The last time I was in a class with you, nilikuacha ukifanya some pro farm challenges.
Yeah.
What's the progress? Are you still doing props?
I'm still doing props, but now I do it lightly. It's not as heavy. I have like right now some 300K that I'm doing on FTMO and these other farm fivers. So I have 200K on FTMO. I have 100K on fivers. But I've not been trading well. I won't lie. I'm not at the best of my, because of the changes that are taking place and all that. Like February was just hectic. You're now getting used to 9 to 5, coming back home. You have to adjust your routine of checking markets. Your mind is still. So I've still not settled well into my trading, but I'm still doing that. Currently, I'm down about 3% on phase 2. So still doing that. But like I was telling him actually before the set, I feel like now is when I'll do the best of my trading because a lot of pressure has been taken off. I don't need to perform. I don't need to. So now it's quite easy for me to just sit down, wait for a good setup to come. I take it. I can also toy around with challenges. I can, if this one doesn't work, I buy another one. If this one doesn't work, I buy another one. So a lot will change, obviously, but I'm still working on those things. So, because now I'm also, you see, the same way you're learning things, when you get to this other side, you realize, wow, so there's a lot that I need to also learn and absorb. So you have to like layer up all those things and form a framework, and then now you can be able to do some things.
And for the day that you have traded these Pro Farms accounts, and the accounts, of course, we have succeeded in some accounts, others we have failed. You've got payouts. What do you think has really helped you to especially succeed in trading in Pro Farms?
That's a hard question. And I
Because so many people are not able to pass Pro Farms accounts.
You are our mentors.
That's a hard question because I'm trying to think of, can I pinpoint any single thing that has helped me pass the challenges? No. It's just a function of being consistent with everything I do. If I'm doing a challenge, I'm risking 1%, just sticking to that. If I'm up and I'm risking 1.5, going up, the setups are the same. The process is the same. If I was trading my own account, everything else is the same. The only difference is for these prop firms, they're specified targets that you need to attain for you to get to the other side. But on this other side, probably you don't have those specified targets and all that, so you don't have to think much about risk. And you see that question you're asking, like for me, I don't consider myself a successful prop trader, by the way. I've made money
As
from
much
props.
as you have
Yeah,
been.
I've made money from props, but I want to make money from props. I believe that you should put yourself in that bracket. If you have made not over $100,000 within a year, you can now say you're doing props well. Because if you think about the amount of money that is there, it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of
It's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And you find that sometimes, like for me, I remember some of the best times I've done, like $34,000. So some of the best gains I've made. So I still don't consider myself. Now I feel like now is when I want to like press on that accelerator well, so that I can capitalize on it. But I've made money, like you're saying, I've passed challenges, I've failed challenges, I've passed, still didn't get to payouts.
And all documented, of course.
And all documented, yeah. So you can go and check out on YouTube, you'll find them. Other than now, let's say like last year, I didn't document much, but I was still trading heavily. This year, I've not documented much, but I'm still trading heavily. So, yeah, I'd say like by the end of the day, when you're trading on, now that's what I was saying. Right now is when now I'm working on probably coming up with a unique strategy to trade props. That's what I'm working on. That will now change the dynamics because now I'm not attached to losing an account. I don't care. It's not my primary source of income or anything. So I can do very many things. I can decide I have 5K. Let me buy 5 challenges. I don't mind passing 2, failing 3. So I can toy with the risk and all that. But you see, previously I couldn't do that. You get? Yeah. And that's also part of the reason why I feel like I've not been able to get to the 200,000. Because I feel like most traders trade props the same way they trade the individual retail accounts. And you shouldn't do that.
And why is that?
Because when you're trading props, 1, you should realize it's a SIM account. 2, you should realize the game is rigged against you. So the rules, you should also rig the rules. Yeah, because it's already rigged.
Sure as you are.
So if you don't bend the rules, then it means you're
bound
ready
to fail.
You're coming into this system with the idea that your rules will work, but the one who created the rules created them so that you'll fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To fail.
And
Right?
that has been a debate going
Exactly.
on for the
That's why you
longest.
find like for most people who are trading props, you give them an account. Let's say like right now, if I told you, Mark, Nick, hi guys, Mkofiti, I have $10,000 accounts. You guys trade.
Yeah.
Your job is to just trade well, take risks. The only risk we're taking here is the amount of money we've used to buy these challenges. But you trade. You'll trade very differently from if I tell you guys I have $1,000 and this is the last coin I have. If you buy that account and lose it, things won't go well. After
will sue you.
2% drawdown, you're already thinking, should I minimize risk? Will this
Start
challenge pass?
re-strategizing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You start doing other. Now you're falling into that trap, right? I
Yeah.
created these rules to make you fail. So now you've already failed, and you're trying to bend the rules further. It will just get worse.
Yes.
So for most people, the reason, and again, I think these are now things that I can say confidently. Like for me, the reason I also pivoted is I realized you couldn't use props as your main source of income. If that's what you're doing, good luck. It's true, good luck.
Comrades, good luck.
Good luck, good luck. Because that's so much pressure you're putting on yourself.
We need power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so much pressure because by the end of the day, you're trying to make money out of a game that's rigged against you. And you're trying to do it quickly. And you're doing it with your whole life depending on that. Like, don't you think you're putting your stakes too high? Chances of you failing are very high.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Extremely
And
high.
especially as you prolong the time.
Yeah. We have heard people saying if you're taking 1-2 months to pass a challenge, then probably you ain't doing it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you discover that how you should do props is very different. It's very different. And that's why like someone like me, I always say, Bado, I've still not,
You're still not there.
yeah, I'm still not there.
And I like the fact that you are so humble. You know, someone at your level, but they will come and sell you a dream that you can only dream of or watch in a movie.
No. You have to realize, those are the things. Us guys are young,
Yeah.
right? Like right now, do you need 20 million?
What for?
But you want it,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So bad.
You want it so bad.
Yeah.
But your wants, you're confusing them with your needs.
Mhm.
I don't need to appear successful.
Yes.
You get?
Yeah.
I want to appear successful, but I don't need. A time will come when I need to appear successful. And at that time, I'd want to be successful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Now, I see young guys sometimes, especially on this side of ours, you want to show people you're driving this car,
JLEs,
JLEs and all.
Mansions,
the mansions
and cash money.
and cash.
And trips.
Exactly. The people you're showing even.
They have more than that. That's what I actually came to note some years back. I buy something. I remember I bought a radio woofer and I posted. Then on my WhatsApp, and then a gentleman comes to me and tells me, you have just started this. I will advise you keep it to yourself because he was a very good man. I have actually never met him, but every time he would call me, he tells me he's in the US, he's traveling. He looked like a guy who is up there. So
Yeah.
he told me that time we had just started building a community. We had like less than 100 people subscribers.
Yeah.
So he told me, if you continue this way, we have people who have money and they won't get into your channel
Exactly.
because you're posting a radio.
Exactly.
That looks a very big achievement to you. Yes, it is an achievement. You're a young man. But now, this guy who is flying, he can't be convinced by a radio.
Exactly.
That was a very big lesson.
So once you realize that, and especially for FX, I just see it and I'm like, guys, really, guys?
Really?
Really? Really? One is you'll grow old.
Yes.
You're not a young man forever.
Yeah.
Your life will change. Stop assuming. Two, you can't scam people long term. It's not a strategy that works.
And we have seen it by the
Yeah.
way.
You can do it for a year, 2, 3. But
And
a
you look
decade,
successful, yes.
you can't build a life out of that. Like, there's so many things which are just common sense that if you just sit down and you think, you realize this is not the direction. Like right now, if I start posting to you guys jets after now, a whole 15 years, let's say, you guys will find me more authentic, right?
Yeah.
You'll relate to my story more. Why? Because it's real.
You have seen the journey and everything.
It's real. It's not
Flashy.
exactly.
Yes.
And not so questionable.
And not so questionable, right?
Yeah.
So why do you want to be the person who people question? Now you alitoa pesa yake. Huyo alifanya.
KRA inajua hii maneno.
I don't. For me, I think very early when we just started, we had decided that those things do not appeal to me. I don't think I can go to bed comfortable at night, knowing that that's what I do for a living. I live a fake life, and what I'm sure that's not me. To me, they don't add up.
It goes with
Sometimes, by
personality.
the way, I even meet people like on a random day. You find me in a matatu, someone comes, says hi to me, and salimiana, and say, hey, how are you, Nini? We speak for a few minutes. And I just realized the shock in this person's eye. Like, this guy is just so comfortable here. Like, yes. And then 2 days later, we'll meet up at a different point. I'll be with my car. 3 days later, we'll meet up somewhere else. So you'll realize very quickly that, and as you meet different people will have different ideas.
Yeah.
Some people will meet you, will appreciate you for your authenticity.
Yes.
Others will meet you, they'll project their failures. They'll like,
They'll take pictures of you and post you.
I thought these guys were rich. But they tell you that. You assumed. You get.
Yes.
That was a story that you created for yourself. So different people will have different priorities, and based on the priorities, we'll have different outcomes and different decisions. If I made 100 million today, I wouldn't rush to buy a plane so that people think I'm rich.
Yeah.
I would instead invest that money in being rich in order to afford that plane. We are different.
Yeah,
we are
the
playing the
difference.
game different. No. So moja anafanya, it's like you guys now. You guys are authentically laying out content and all that, but there's someone else who wants the shortcut.
Yeah.
You can't work the same way. You get?
Yeah.
So one person will do it differently from the other.
Yeah. Mark.
So Ken, maybe as we are coming to the close of this, it has been so silent and so attentive. I didn't even realize the time was
Time is running.
I was running out, because the whole time I'm like, okay, I think I have a book, but I think I was thinking now my pen is so far. But maybe would you mind telling us maybe what's that one uncomfortable truth about trading that you think maybe most people are stuck because they haven't realized that?
So there's a world of a difference between trading CFDs and trading other instruments, and there's a world of a difference between retail trading and institutional trading.
And we have explained that during this whole episode.
Yeah. Nick,
there's a
the whole
wild-
time Nick is like this.
He's a teacher to me, so
There's a world of a difference.
Yes.
There's a world of a difference. And once you realize that, and your goal is to trade well, then you discover that probably you're playing it in the wrong field.
Yeah.
It should be you start as an institutional trader, then transition to retail. It's not you start as a retailer, aiming to become an institution. No. It's the other way.
now the big question these guys are asking themselves: how can you now start from institution and then go down to retail?
You just do your research. Those are things that are laid out there. I don't.
That's the point I say, so help me God.
Yeah, so there are very many different ways, but if you're generally interested in the topic, you pick up what you need to pick up, and you gather up the different skills that you need to gather up. Someone somewhere will spot you. By the end of the day, what they're looking for is talent, right?
Yeah.
So someone will spot you and take you to the other side of the world, whatever way you get to the other side of the world.
Please, someone spot us.
We are ready.
So
We are so ready.
it's a very different ball game. That's the honestly that's the uncomfortable truth I have. That every day we just laugh with Caleb and we're like, wow, this is what we thought a hedge fund does, or this is how guys you like, for example, the guys say market maker amechukua stop mgani.
Nothing like that.
Market maker angali stop yako na mandate yake. Can you imagine an institution that is set up to pick stops for people? You get each institution is set up to do something. Picking stops is not an agenda for any institution. Right? So your stops are not picked by anyone. That's a big fact. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. These are things that how an institution trades is very different from how a retailer trades. The mandate is different. The execution process is different. How they look at markets is different. What they're paying attention to is different. The platforms are different.
So again, so help us God.
Nobody is coming for your $5. We told them that and they cooked
Just
us.
look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm a bad trader.
So especially if you're on the CFD side, realize that number one, there isn't any market maker. In CFDs, there isn't a market maker. And that's why props are doing what they're doing. Why? Because they can just create the instrument, bring it, simulate it, and you guys trade.
So it's more like of this other market we call derivatives and synthetics.
Exactly. CFDs are just like derivatives and synthetics.
And the whole time you're here bantering the synthetics guys.
Now you are all the same.
Yeah, we're all the same.
Now that's the sad truth. I
That's
was
the
asking for
sad
that truth now. Now it has hit me.
That's the sad truth. And that's now the difference between, even on the retail side, like for me now, that's part of my goals. Like I just want to transition from fully doing anything on the CFD side. But I still feel like sijamalizana na props.
You need to hit them.
Yeah, I need to hit them. Like I want to move when I can say,
Yes.
came here, spent my time, understood how to rig the rules, made my money. You guys have even banned me. Adios. Now I've gone to the other side.
And we are rooting for you.
Yeah.
And because you have done so much. I guess one thing as we are doing this, people don't realize is that, this whole thing, the commitment, the creativity behind everything, it's so tiring. And you guys did it for the longest time possible.
Yeah.
And man, as also you venture into the other side, man, we just wish you the best.
Thank you.
And I hope one day we'll take Nick and I to a floor institution and see maybe how
A
things.
day in the life of...
We won't record it, of course.
Definitely, yeah. So over time, like I said right now, I'm still Ukochini. I'm still trying to earn my stripes. As usual, you don't start at the top. You start down there, then you go up. So over time, obviously, once we have picked up as much as we can and we know what definitely, however, where we can, we'll be able to show you guys what we're doing.
Don't stay too quiet for you for the thousands of followers who are so loyal to you. Be
And
telling
these
them
guys
someone-
went without saying.
we had to look for you so that
At least tell them something.
and Caleb too. Now I remember you mentioned you like a minute ago. Yeah, we have been trying to get a hold of him. Maybe Caleb, if you're listening, your people are asking for you through us, and we also so.
Say something to them.
So we'll be doing more content. We have just relax, guys. We are cooking. We're still cooking
Money
things.
is coming.
Yeah, we're cooking. So we're working on like different forms of content, different episodes. We're also thinking of now doing a different podcast. Now, not what we were doing, like a different one, bringing now the other side as guests rather than having this other side. So there's a lot. It's still in the works.
Yes.
Often, you guys know,
Yeah.
By the time this episode is out,
Yes.
all the work was done,
Yeah.
right? By the
Yeah.
time a season comes,
Yes.
like right now, you guys are already planning for the next.
Season.
But the people who are watching, see, they have to wait for you guys to shoot, do
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So that's what we are doing. So
Oh, amazing.
we're now on the other side, just working slowly,
Yeah,
but we will surely come back. For anyone who's been watching us, our things we will always come back and we'll give you guys more information and more, and just grow the audience wider and tap into more, and people get to learn different things.
Sure.
My takeaway point is that progress is a slow process, and that has been us. Thank you so much for tuning in for season 2. This is now our last episode. We appreciate you guys. We have seen all your comments. Adjustments will be done anywhere, and also those who have appreciated us and reached to us. We are so grateful for you. And what we can promise is that we said that this season was going to be great, and I hope you love it. And as we also transition into the next season, I hope you're going to stay tuned in for more good content. Thank you.
This guy last year, he sometimes back he took us to a fancy restaurant. So today I'll take him so that I can get some more knowledge. Sawa. Asante guys.
Bye.
See you next season.
Next one.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.